Hi. I don't usually share things like this, but I think it's too late to pretend it didn't happen. My name isn't important. What matters is that I realized I've been living someone else's life without even noticing it. It started the night I missed my own bus stop. Except I don't even take that bus. I didn't realize I'd been living someone else's routine until the night I missed my own bus stop. I was standing there, half asleep, watching the doors close, when I felt this calm certainty that I wasn't supposed to get off yet. The problem is, I don't take that bus. I'm writing this at 2:47 a.m. because every time I try to sleep, my brain keeps replaying tiny moments I brushed off for months. The kind of details that don't mean anything until suddenly they mean everything. It started last fall, after I moved into a new apartment. Nothing fancy. 3rd floor, old building, thin walls, radiators that knock like they're haunted. The kind of place where you expect weird noises, so you don't question them. The first thing I noticed was the smell of coffee. Not in a cozy way, not like someone brewing a fresh pot. It was stale, burned, like coffee that's been sitting on a hot plate too long. Every morning at exactly 6:40 a.m., it crept into my bedroom through the vents. I assumed it was my neighbor. The walls were thin, and people have routines. I even found it kind of comforting, like proof the world was still running while I was half awake. Then there was the humming. Low, steady, almost electrical. It came from the hallway outside my door. I'd hear it when I was putting on my shoes or locking up. If I paused to listen, it would stop. Every time. I told myself it was the building. Old wiring, old pipes, old everything. Here's the thing about me. I'm not paranoid. I'm the opposite. I ignore red flags because it's easier than admitting something's off. I'll rationalize anything if it means I don't have to feel uncomfortable. So when my bathroom mirror started fogging up before I showered, I blamed the pipes. When my phone alarm went off one morning with a sound I'd never chosen, I assumed I'd changed it by accident. When I started finding the same brand of toothpaste in my sink drawer that I used to use years ago, not the one I buy now, I laughed and told myself I must have grabbed the wrong one at the store. Small stuff. Harmless stuff. The kind of stuff you don't post about online because it sounds stupid when you say it out loud. The bus thing happened about 3 months in. I was exhausted that day. Work ran late, my phone was at 8%, and I remember leaning my head against the window, watching my reflection blur with the streetlights. At some point, I stopped recognizing the route. That should have freaked me out, but instead I felt settled. Like my body knew where it was going, even if my brain didn't. When the bus finally stopped, I stood up automatically. Then the driver looked at me through the mirror and said, "You usually wait 2 more stops." Not rudely, casually, like we'd had this conversation before. I laughed it off, said, "Long day." He nodded. "Yeah, you say that a lot." I didn't sleep that night. After that, I started paying attention. I noticed my shoes were sometimes lined up by the door when I distinctly remembered kicking them off. I noticed my browser history had tabs open for things I never search. Local weather at 5 a.m., transit schedules, the same apartment listing I currently live in. I noticed the humming in the hallway wasn't random. It followed a pattern, a rhythm, almost like someone breathing through their nose. I bought a cheap camera and pointed it at my front door. I told myself it was just for peace of mind, just to prove nothing was happening. The footage from the first night was boring. Door didn't open, no movement, just hours of grainy nothing. The second night was the same. The third night, I almost missed it. At 3:12 a.m., my door handle twitched. Not turned, just tested. Like someone checking if it was locked. I watched the clip over and over, my stomach tight, but my mind still trying to explain it away. Old buildings shift. Air pressure does weird things. Metal expands and contracts. Then I noticed something else. The sound. There was a soft hum on the audio track, the same one I heard in the hallway, only clearer, closer, like it was coming from inside my apartment. That was the first night I slept with the lights on. I started losing time after that. Not in a dramatic way, no blackouts, no waking up in strange places, just gaps. I'd sit down to watch a video and realize an hour had passed and I couldn't remember any of it. I'd open my notes app and find grocery lists I didn't write, things I don't eat, brands I don't buy. Once, I found a reminder set for 6:40 a.m. that just said, "Don't forget." I don't know what scared me more, the idea that someone was messing with me, or the growing suspicion that no one else was involved at all. I went to a doctor. Sleep issues, stress, dissociation. That's what they said. They asked if I'd been feeling disconnected from myself lately. I told them no. That was a lie. The breaking point was the voicemail. I got it while I was at work. Unknown number, no transcription, just a 12-second audio clip. I stepped into the stairwell to listen. It was me. Same voice, same cadence, same little pause I make before finishing a sentence. I was whispering, "Please don't change anything. It works if you don't think about it." I dropped my phone. I wish I could say that's when everything clicked, that I suddenly understood what was happening. I didn't. I went home. I locked the door. I sat on the couch and waited for the humming to start. At 6:40 a.m., the smell of coffee filled the apartment. I don't own a coffee maker. I followed the sound to the kitchen. The counter was clean. The sink was dry. No mug, no machine, nothing. That's when I noticed the calendar on my fridge. It had my handwriting on it, notes in the margins, little check marks on random days. One sentence was circled so hard the paper was almost torn. "If you find this, you're early." I don't remember writing that, but I know exactly what it means now. Because there's one detail I've been avoiding this entire time, and I can't dodge it anymore. The camera footage never showed anyone entering my apartment. Not once. Every unexplained sound, every misplaced object, every routine I didn't recognize. It all happened without the door opening. The unforgettable sentence, the one I can't stop hearing in my head, is this: I'm not being watched. I'm being continued. I think there's a version of me that wakes up when I go to sleep. A quieter one, more efficient. One that figured out how to survive this life without overthinking it. They make the coffee. They ride the bus. They talk to the driver. They hum in the hallway while checking if I locked the door. And they're very careful not to wake me up. Tonight, for the first time, the humming hasn't stopped when I listened. It's steady now, comfortable, like it knows I finally understand. I haven't moved. I don't plan to. Because the scariest part isn't that I might lose control. It's that, deep down, I'm not sure which version of me this life actually belongs to anymore.